So, what if we could actually design our way out of some of the biggest crises we're facing? I'm not just talking about new gadgets or tech, but a whole new way of living together. Today, we're going to dive into a project that's not just about building houses, it's about building a blueprint for a new kind of civilization. And it all starts at a single address: One Lake Drive.
Every big idea really starts with a question. And this one, well, it was literally born from the ashes of a house fire. It's a question that goes so much deeper than just, how do I rebuild? It asks, how do I rebuild better, stronger, and with real meaning? This is the spark that kicked off a truly global vision.
So, that personal disaster led to a pretty revolutionary answer. And we're not talking about some abstract pie in the sky idea here. This is a real, tangible plan that started with just one house. And here it is. This is the Ark of Many Solutions. It's so much more than just a fireproof, resilient home. It's a prototype, a living laboratory designed to prove a much bigger idea. You can almost think of it as the hardware for a brand new social operating system. Okay, so how does one really innovative house become a blueprint for an entire community? This is where the vision starts to scale up, moving from a single home to completely rethinking the way we do suburbs. The core idea here is something called the climate sanctuary. And get this, it's not just some private dream. This concept has actually gotten real-world political traction. It was officially endorsed in the Delaware Democratic Party's platform. Now that gives the whole project a really unique tailwind, moving it from just an idea to potential policy. At the heart of it all is this village per hectare model. It's really a masterclass in balance. You get what they call dignified density, packing in homes inspired by famous architectural projects like Habitat 67, but making sure every single home has its own private green space. But the real genius part is the ecological engine. By building up vertically, they preserve 75% of the land, letting it actually heal the environment. So what exactly is this ecological engine? Well, for starters, it means creating food forests that work with nature, not against it. It uses holistic pastoral zones where animals actually regenerate the soil. And it uses this sponge city design, which is incredible. It means the landscape is engineered to absorb rainfall naturally. So instead of just creating runoff, the land literally soaks it up like a sponge. The end goal is a community that's almost completely self-sufficient. But this project is about so much more than just the physical stuff, the buildings and the pipes. Now we get to peel back its most profound layer: the philosophy, the curriculum, what you could call the human software that makes the whole community actually run. So this is the human software. It's a curriculum called the 7 Skills of Scripture, and it's brilliant because it draws on this universal wisdom from a bunch of different world faiths and translates ancient practices into vital modern skills. So, for example, breath isn't just about meditation, it's the foundation for resilience. Gardening becomes a hands-on lesson in food literacy. It's a framework for building a shared culture, a shared purpose. And this brings us to the project's most unique tech element. It's framed by a question, a simple but unbelievably profound question asked by the founder's 5-year-old son. He asked, when the robots read our holy books, who will teach them what they mean? Just let that sink in for a second. The project's answer to that question is to build a sacred AI. This is totally different from the AI we usually hear about. Instead of its goal being optimization, its goal is wisdom. Its function isn't to be a sovereign, a ruler, but a scribe, a wise guide that offers ethical context and guidance, not one that just spits out answers and makes decisions for us. Okay, so we've got the hardware in the buildings, we have the human software in the curriculum, and we have this ethical tech with the AI. But how does a single project in Delaware actually go global? Well, that's where the master plan comes in. The engine for scaling isn't to try and build every single village themselves. No way. It's a franchise model. Think of it like creating the Canon brand for building better communities. They provide the entire blueprint, the architecture, the ecosystems, the AI, the curriculum, for other people to replicate all over the world. Now, the financial roadmap for this is a really deliberate 3-phase journey. It all kicks off with the first step, a $7 million seed fund. That's to acquire the initial land and get that flagship prototype, the Ark we saw earlier, up and running. From there, that investment scales up to $70 million for the next phase. This is the capital that allows them to build the very first full-scale Sanctum Village. This is where they prove the entire model works at a community level and is totally economically viable. And all of this is leading to the ultimate target, an enterprise valuation of over $700 million within just 7 years. And the key is, that valuation isn't driven by real estate, it's driven by the power of their scalable, replicable franchise model. And they've mapped it all out on this 7-year plan. It's super deliberate. The first few years are all about building the foundation. By year 4, the project actually turns profitable just from selling homes. But the real game changer happens after that, as the value shifts from physical buildings to the intellectual property of that franchise model. And you can see that shift so clearly right here. By year 7, look at this. Nearly half of all revenue is projected to come from those high-margin franchise and licensing fees. The digital ecosystem, powered by that sacred AI, becomes another huge driver. This is how you scale an idea, not just a building. But ultimately, the vision here goes way beyond business. It becomes a kind of sacred diplomacy. The project imagines this global fellowship where every nation sends not a diplomat or a soldier, but their wisest soul to come together and co-create solutions for our future. And that leaves all of us with a really profound question to think about. If we were really going to build a global sanctuary of wisdom, a place for our best souls to create a better world, who would your country send? Would it be the farmer, the poet, the scientist, the healer? It really challenges us all to rethink what true leadership looks like.